Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Patrick's Real Estate Reality. We're doing another article review on something that is coming to mind a lot more frequently and often for those who are interested on exactly what the hell is going on in the real estate market. So this one article that we're looking at right now is 5 things to know about real estate market cycles. So to start off, the real estate market is a dynamic and connected to overall economy, but is also subject to regular periods of booms and busts. For home buyers and investors, understanding the 4 main real estate market cycles and the nuanced nature of the housing market is the key to choosing smart strategies that can adapt to the market's ups and downs. So now this sounds interesting now, don't it really capture your attention? Here we go. What is the real estate market cycle? The real estate market cycle is an economic pattern of activity in housing markets with 4 phases: recovery, expansion, hypersupply, and though our all, recession. The concept of predicting cycles, market phases, goes back nearly 100 years. The U.S. housing market is one of the 4 phases at any given time, and real estate professionals, home buyers, investors, and others may use the current phase to inform their strategies to buy, hold, or sell. So they're being smart. They're looking into the past, and they're looking into history. The history is the only thing that we can look at to possibly understand what the future may hold. Other than that, we have no idea what the hell is going to happen in the future. We always know what happened yesterday, though, right? While it is difficult to precisely predict their exact length, research indicates that real estate cycles generally last about 18 years. Disruptions like the COVID-19 pandemic can play a large role in how accurately experts can forecast how the housing market might behave. So yeah, right before Corona, it was straight almost 20 years of going up. Now, it was obviously a little choppy, because that's how it always is. But we almost went almost 18 years of straight up. I mean, obviously, Corona change really stirred the pot, let's just say. Number 2, the 4 phases of the real estate market cycle. First one is recovery. The recovery phase typically begins after a low point in a recession phase, when occupancy and rental rates are low. New construction is stagnant. The recovery phase may be tricky to identify because too many homebuyers or renters. Recovery still looks and feels like a recession. Experts rely on trends such as upticks in property viewings, occupancy rates, and growing demand to signal when the market has moved into a recovery phase. Take some notes. Expansion. The expansion phase is a period of growth that increases consumer optimism as a general economy improves. Vacancy rates are low, rents and property values are rising, and the new construction has rebounded with supply and demand reaching an equilibrium. So this is the great part. This is what everybody loves, right? Is the expansion, because this is where everybody gets to be happy and think that their house is, working for them in the background, and this is, all that. Hypersupply. Hypersupply is a tipping point in which supply has met and exceeded demand. This may be due to an overstimulation of inventory on the market, an economic downturn, or an external event that caused consumers' demand to pull back. We've definitely seen a few examples of that within the past couple years. Recession, where everyone gets all tight and tense, The recession phase is a period of economic and market contraction. The recession phase can be challenging for homeowners and investors as property values decline, economic pressure intensifies, interest rates may climb, foreclosures increase, and the supply far outweighs the demand with accompanying high vacancy rates. No one likes the recession, basically. Nobody. Why is the real estate market cycle important? The real estate market plays a significant role in the U.S. economy. It performs along with its cycles, and it acts as an indicator reflecting the overall health of the economy. just as an indicator though. Keep that on point. An understanding of the real estate market cycles is essential for making informed decisions about buying, selling, holding properties. Additionally, knowing which phases of the real estate cycle is in allows homeowners or investors to make and accurately predict a property's appreciation or income potential. All right, you want to know what's happening in the market so you can understand what's going to happen to your home. I think that's fair. I think that's pretty straightforward. What factors affect the real estate market cycle? Here we go. First one, economic conditions. Economic indicators such as GDP growth, employment rates, and consumer spending can shape the real estate market cycle. Generally, when the economy is strong and trending upwards, the consumer have more money and feel confident in purchasing real estate. Conversely, when the economy is sluggish or downward trending, the real estate market follows suit, as we can see, let's just say. Demographics, population growth, and migration patterns can affect real estate cycles. For example, the entry of a large population into the housing market, such as millennials, can drive trends such as renting versus buying, or creating a spike in housing demand. Retiring baby boomers, on the other hand, may drive shifts in the market as they downsize or relocate to vacation areas. Because we're seeing a lot of that with Florida. You know, I'm sure you know somebody that moved down to Florida. I feel like I know like 10 million people that moved down to Florida. My question is, when is Florida not going to have enough for everybody who's moving down there? At some point, that will change. Soon? I don't think so. I don't think soon. But it could. Interest rates. Whoop, whoop. This is our favorite right here. Interest rates set by central banks affect mortgage rates and borrowing costs. High interest rates can diminish a would-be homebuyer's purchasing power and determine them from buying. Low interest rates can make a long-term cost of financing a house more affordable and may encourage the uptick in the housing market. When the bank says you can go buy a home with basically nothing, it makes you want to go buy a home. And when you go to the bank and they basically say you're going to pay a whole lot of money for a home, the more you stand back and say, wait a minute, let's double check this, see what's going on here. I don't know. Maybe you need to stand on the sidelines. Government policies. Government policies include tax deductions, tax credits, home buyer programs, and incentives, and stimulus plans can help jumpstart a sluggish economy and spur investment into housing market. I would agree. We definitely saw a lot of those Corona bonuses during the past couple years show up, and a lot of people were investing in real estate with that, which was good. And there's a lot of people that did not invest with real estate with that, and I think they are at a lost cause now because they could have got a home at a nice rate. But 5, strategies for buying or investing based on real estate cycle. Although there is no guarantee strategy to follow for buying a home or investing during a given market phase, investment trends typically correspond to the real estate cycle recovery. This phase is usually a good time for investors to focus on undervalued properties such as foreclosures in an area with growth potential. Home buyers can take advantage of relatively low prices, but should exercise caution when it comes to over-leveraging their finances or purchasing in an area that may not appreciate significantly in the future. Simple as this. Do your due diligence and take notes. Really understand what you're looking for. And if you don't know and it's really seeming like a struggle to figure out or find that out, what you should do is talk to a realtor because they know. Expansion. With the market picking up, both demand and prices are on the rise. Investors may consider value-add strategies like renovation, as well as more traditional buy and hold investments. Multifamily properties or commercial investments, homebuyers should prepare themselves for more competition and higher prices. Focus on the areas with solid prospects for long-term development or growth. I would agree once more. Hypersupply. With an oversupply of properties on the market, prices start to plateau or decline. Investors typically hold off on new purchases and instead focus on managing existing properties while maintaining caution about overspending. This can be a good time for home buyers to purchase as prices stabilize or drop because of reduced demand. But home buyers ought to give extra consideration to the property's location and long-term outlook. Always, I feel like that only makes sense, right? You don't want to move into somewhere and then 2 years later there's, I don't know, explosions and bombs going off, right? I'm just being ridiculous, but I think you get what I'm trying to say. Recession. As the market takes a downturn, prices tend to decrease significantly, and there could be a higher number of distressed properties. Some investors will want to take advantage of significant discounts by looking at foreclosed or bank-owned homes. For home buyers in a stable financial position, this might be an opportune time to buy, but remember, recessions are considered high-risk periods. The tips we've covered are general guidelines. As always, it is important to do your own research regarding historical data, economic indicators, and other trends in locations that you want to invest in. Consider your risk tolerance and, if possible, consult with a real estate professional. Wow, finally, who are familiar with the market you are looking at. Above all, be ready and willing to adjust your strategy based on the current real estate market cycles, as flexibility is key in the real estate process. I 100% agree. And I would also say, hear me out, there is a way to avoid all of this. All the cons that come with each one, there's a way to avoid it, I would say. And I would say, buy a home today and live in it for 20 years. And every single time the interest rate goes down, you refinance, is what I would say. Because real estate, if you want to guarantee a win in real estate, you should just buy and hold a home. Truly. Obviously, you should, take in consideration of exactly where that property is and everything like that. But generally, prices tend to just go up in the long run. Whether the neighborhood is bad or good, obviously, there's variables involved, but buy and hold will always do it. I think the last time I saw that the average person stay in their home between, I think the average said like 13 years. I don't necessarily believe that. I think the more average is more 7 to 10. But from what I've heard, 13 years is on average. And 13 years, I would say, is plenty of time for your home to increase in value from the day you buy it. On average, your property appreciates 5% every year. On average, general, that cannot be based on just this year or just last year or just the year before. I'm talking about the past 105 years. This is what I'm really talking about. Is on average, it increases 5% a year. So if you hold on to a home for 20 years, and start a life and a family and everything you want to do within that home and really make it your center of life, by the time that 20 years hits, out of water. And with that said, I appreciate you tuning into Padraics Real Estate Reality. And the last thing I gotta say is, does your realtor know that?